going to build a new engine, but
That's not the topic. The ignition, the different, the comparison of the ignition.
Yeah.
no, that's I didn't do that one. No, I didn't do that one. I'm going over. I've got a printout. I don't know if you guys know, but I have a video that's popping off right now, and it's all the manufacturers of how many are left that are still owned by the families and or the people that started the companies performance industry, and there ain't a lot of them left. And so I dove deep into this because I'm about to start building engines for various things. And it started me thinking about lifters and all the lifters that's been going bad, ruining engines over the last several years. And so I did my homework, and I started looking up who makes what and who owns what and what companies, and it really opened my eyes to the fact that most of the performance industry is owned by about 5 different companies total. I mean, they've all been bought up like hotcakes by these what do you want to call them? Like BlackRock. Like they're all just holding companies and money men, and they've bought big, large chunks of the market up. And from all my research and everything I've done, there's a short list of companies that are left that are just still owned by the company. All right. So here's the list. Are still privately owned. Larger brands. Crower, Bryant, Jezel, Callies, which owns Comstar, Bullet, which owns Ultradyne, Isky, and Manton. That's it. That don't somehow have some kind of large money group owning the products. I mean, like here's an example. Edelbrock Corporation is now owned by a company called Industrial Opportunity Partners, IOP, publicly traded. Edelbrock, Comp Cams, Crane Cams, Lenati, Fast, TCI, Zex Nitrous, RHS, Racing Head Service, and Russell Performance. Those are all owned by that company. There's another one. They race winning brands, RWB, Wiseco Pistons, JE Pistons, Diamond Pistons, Pro X Pistons and Rods, Manley, MGP, Boostline, Trend, Victory, Pack Springs, K1 Technologies. It just goes on and on and on. I mean, if you think about it, an old brand from back in the day, they're all owned by money men now. Holley is owned by Sentinel Capital Partners. Holley, Excel, Mr. Gasket, AEM Electronics, Super Chips, Hayes, Lakewood, Hooker Headers, Flowtech, Wyans, Earls, APR, Dynan, Simpson, all the protective gear, nitrous oxide systems, they're all owned by this company that now owns the Holley brand. And then Taglit Private Equity Group owns SCAT, AFR, Racing Tech Pistons, Procar, Vortec, Paxton. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. The list is everybody can think of besides those brands are owned, or in Brodix. Brodix is still privately owned by the family that runs Brodix. So when it comes to that sort of thing, it's my opinion that I've been through it a couple of times for different jobs I've worked for. When they go corporate, when they go from being family owned to being corporate, corners start getting cut because when the accountants come in, they just want to beat the numbers from last quarter. Period. I mean, they are going to cut corners. They're going to have them made offshore. So sometimes the quality and the basically the quality of the product that you're buying is not the same as it was back in the 80s and 90s, because most of these happened in the late 2000s onto 2020. So, I mean, it's over the last 15 years, they've been starting to get bought up. So it's my question to you guys is that, and I know there's a lot of you guys out there that are building engines. I mean, Hillbilly Garage and Project Headquarters and Uncle Dave, everybody, what are you guys going to do? Because the biggest problem right now is lifters. What do you guys think you're going to do about trying to find a lifter that's not going to wipe out a cam, that's not going to ruin an engine build? I mean, so you guys tell me, if you guys have some kind of in track of what you do, I would like to know, because I'm about to do it. I'm kind of at the point where, like the conversation I had with one of the guys at Howard's Cams at PRI last year, I'm going to have to go retro roller because I don't want to spend the type of money putting a new one together, and then within 10 minutes of starting up, swiping a cam lobe out, and then you're rebuilding it again. I mean, you're starting from scratch. I mean, yeah. What have you guys been doing for the last 15 years to keep that from happening? Hit it. I've talked long enough.
Are you sure?
Got it right.
They say one says corporate money, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is the way. It is the way of the world. Now, I'm not talking about like intakes and carburetors and exhaust systems and things like that. Those seem to be doing okay. It's the internals that everybody said, and the heartbeat of the engine, which is the camshaft and the lifters. I mean, it takes 10 minutes, less than that, for some of these cam lobes or lifters to go bad. I mean, I would hate to, like, I've got one set left of the old 80 stuff. One set left, and I'm finding them impossible to find. So you guys tell me what you're going to do.
Well, and I also feel like too, it all stems to there's a lot of factors in a build. So when I say that, like, you don't have just the items that you're installing. You have the processes and procedures that you're doing while you're installing. So, like, most guys, when they're putting a cam in, they don't realize that you got to break the cam, or that you have to soak the lifters 24 hours prior to install. We can hum-ha and, oh, well, these are shit and these are good, and blah, 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 but if you think about it, like, I feel like the one thing that is going to slowly affect it is that everybody's going to get away from the original how to do lifters and cams.
You know about the old school procedures.
Yeah, like it. Yeah, and I think a lot of failures are coming from dry sides.
Well, I mean, it just seems to be becoming more and more and more prevalent. And I'm telling you, my generation knows that you soak lifters. My generation knows you use assembly lube. My generation knows that you start it, you run it 30 minutes at a certain RPM range. You have to let that thing seat. And my generation is still doing that, but now they're swiping cams out. Right. And lifters are going bad because the production.
Oh, I'm not saying anything that you're saying is wrong. I'm not saying that at all. I think you're pretty much hitting the nail on the head, where the materials that are used to make cams are not as durable as they were back in the 80s. So flat tappets are wiping lobes and all that. I'm not saying you're incorrect for that. Like, no, absolutely. Like, the materials that are used are not what they used to be. Hell, you pull a brand new cam out for anything, and it weighs 2-3 pounds.
Yeah, he's become the engine man at his local shop.
You can't you pull a cam out and it's like, what is this? This is a massive paperweight. That's all this is. There's no weight to it. There's no like, you pull a cam out. You this is a cam.
Yeah.
No, not anymore. So I mean,
no. Well, you even saw that working for the year or so you worked at O'Reilly's.
Yeah.
Is that you saw that out of the box, brand new. The parts are not the same quality as they used to be.
Right. Well, that was also aftermarket too. That wasn't OE, which
Right.
I mean, most of the time in our situation, we're not going OE. We're going aftermarket.
Yeah.
So I mean, it all. It's just everything has changed. Everything is softer. It's a softer material, the shape, weight, and this, that, and everyone
Cost.
so fast. The cost and all that, and and I hate to bring this up because I'm a diehard Chevy guy, but it's kind of like the rod bearings for the 6.2s. They used a different metal to shave
Cost.
And now they're
cost them $1 billion.
shitting motors, shitting 6.2s like nobody's business because the rod bearings can't take
The power, yeah.
Yeah, the power that it makes.
Because somebody made a decision to cut costs.
Yeah. So I mean
Or
and their
get the
big
parts
fix
from a
was-
different place.
yeah, and their big fix was go from 020 to 040. Like
Yeah.
that was a
Yeah, that's their big fix.
that
They-
was stupid.
But now that they brung that on themselves, the class action lawsuit, they brung it on themselves
yeah.
because they didn't, because
Yeah,
they
they
didn't.
just wanted to save a few bucks.
Somebody made a bad decision.
Sleepless says, greeting from Las Vegas. And he also says, I use milling lifters in the past. Haven't had any issues from West Zone. Also use Summit Cam and lifter kits. Buck, do you have a brand you're leaning for?
Well, okay. Now, like I said, because of the conversations I had with the guys at Howard's, and they're still out of Wisconsin. Now they're kind of a hybrid. The guys that started Howard's are still kind of in charge. Now they brung some money people in to help them get bigger, but they still kind of got control. But they are still getting some products from overseas, but they're testing them in-house in Wisconsin. So the honest truth, I've got one set of 80s lifters sitting up there that I got off of Amazon 2 years ago before they dried up and went away off Amazon, and they're going in that motor. So I honestly, truly think that from this point on, just for my own safety sake, that I'm probably going with Howard's, but I'm going a retro roller in the big blocks and whatever small block I build, because you can get them hardened, you can get special coatings put on stuff, but once you get all that done, you're still probably in the same ballpark range of money wise for just buying a retro roller. So I'm probably going to go Howard's and go something in-house, probably a kit, like a retro kit from Howard's, cam lifters, push rods for the same right length, because they test everything in-house. They probably get some materials from overseas, but they test them before they go in the box. And that's good enough for me.
Boathead says, what percent of manufacturers' lifters fail to total lifters produced?
I would have to Google that one.
So
I've been going down the rabbit hole. I'll have to Google that one.
So yeah, well, I mean, I can kind of. So the main thing that I've noticed in the industry, as far as not on the performance side, but on the stock side, is that the main thing that everybody doesn't seem to realize is that oil starvation on a car that's, we'll say, 80,000 miles, 90,000 miles, or if you're doing brand new break-in, like the processes and procedures of doing that is way different than doing it back then. So now nobody does it. And so now the failure rate of lifters has gone up because nobody's taking the time to soak the lifters, run the lifters, inspect the lifters, make sure your bearings are good. Like for your rollers, you know, you hear a tick, pull your lifters out, look at them, make sure the roller works. You know, make sure there's no scoring on it. Like nobody's paying attention to the minor details of those applications.
That's a good point.
So at the end of the day, like you can't say that, oh well, these are bad, these are good. It's just there's so many factors in between. But if we're talking about a percentage, I would probably say like 50%, depending on the technician.
For high mileage.
Yeah, like anything over 75,000 is high mileage, but we'll say like 50 to 40% of lifters are failing due to improper install, improper maintenance, getting your oil changes done when you're supposed to, stuff like that, just keeping everything lubricated. So
I will say this. On everything, all the research I've done, it seems to the point where like most of the aftermarket companies have gotten to the point where they're basically blaming it all on the person in their garage installing it. They don't want to warranty any of this stuff because it costs money. It kind of sounds pretty familiar for the 6.2 stuff from GM. I mean, I've been doing cams the same way for 40 years, and I know like Uncle Dave and Uncle Mike and all my friends that all you older guys have all been doing it the same way all this time. Well, now that's not working, and now they're trying to say it's because of the formulation on the oils not having the right amount of zinc in them or additives or whatever, you know. But you can still buy oil with those additives in it. You can buy like Amsoil and Rotella and Shell. They all make break-in oils, but they're still having the issue. I mean, the standard for us for 60 years is now having issues. But it's scary. I mean, you know, everybody likes what they like. Everybody likes what they're used to. But like I said, I mean, for me, just for peace of mind, for a 10-minute break-in on a roller cam, retroed in a big block, that's what I'm going to do. So that I know I'm not wiping shit out. So I know I'm not pulling it apart after 10 minutes and I've ruined all the bearings and have to redo everything.
And two, what I've noticed coming from the dealer side of things is that when you do get lifters or whatever, say like the big companies are like, we don't want to warranty this because it's your problem, but they're not giving you, if there's a specific way to do break-in, they're not telling you. So like, you know, like you'll get when you get rings, you get your gap sheet.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Lifters, you don't get like, okay, you need to set it in this type of oil with this.
There's not a written procedure.
Yeah, there's not anything that comes with the lifters.
So you can say, I did it by the numbers, by you gave me, and it still went bad.
Yeah, and that's where I think they're trying. That's where I think their corporate is. That's where they're failing everybody. Which I don't know about Howard, but the conversations we had with the guy at Howard, he says that that's why I think we love Howard so much, is because they're still, you know, soak them, put them in. If they don't work, let us know. Get in contact with us. We'll get you taken care of.
They'll still answer the phone.
You know, there was somebody to call.
Yeah.
Not just answering
service
or whatever.
Yeah.
So I mean.
Yeah, and so I'm gonna go Howard's retro. I'm gonna finish this one up with a Summit cam with those lifters on the shelf, and The last set, yeah. Now they say Summit actually has those lifters, but if they're not coming in a factory stamp box, I'm probably not going to. And I've been all over eBay. I've been over Amazon. I've been every resource I could think of to buy more. Because I would get the credit card out and I would buy 5 sets. I would, if I could find a place to get them. If I knew legitimately they were old stock, NOS stock,
old stamp steel.
Yeah.
Boathead says it sounds like when I was a kid, lifter failure happened, but I've got a year on you. Maybe the internet magnified failures.
I don't. Okay. Or we didn't. Or over the last before the internet hit for 20 years, we didn't hear about it.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah. But
nobody heard about a lot of crap.
Okay, I'm sorry. We were all in the 70s and 80s. We were all building engines all day long, all the time. We never had a lifter go bad. We never wiped the cam out.
You never heard about it.
There was probably 25 of us in the county that we all worked in each other's shops. We all helped each other out, and we never had a problem. Well, you never even heard about it. You never even heard about it in the magazines. You didn't hear about it anywhere that there was an issue, because everything was still made in America. Everything was still the quality was still. I'm sorry, I just don't in my heart believe the quality is still as good as it was then. But that is in everything. That is in everything. In the 90s, when they swapped over and started doing offshore and everything because it was cheaper, it's not the same. It's just maybe it's the old man in me saying it, but it's just not the same.
It is the old man in you.
Love you too, honey.
Mm-hmm.
I just for the money you have to put into it these days, I just don't trust it. So I'm gonna have to go, just for my peace of mind. I'm gonna go retro roller in the old engines.
That's like that short block I did. Wow, man. Or 2 weeks ago. It's just I was just still even though it was an dual overhead cam, and it's not the same as a V8, but it just did. You pick them up and it's like, what the fuck are these? I can't believe this is what
they're running. Yeah,
I can't believe this is what a cam is now.
Well,
but
we'll see what happens with regulations and everything about fuel economy and all that kind of good biz, because the manufacturers are they're having to deal with all the restrictions and everything they have to get through just to get them on the lot. Has your lot dropped in? Have you heard them talking to Scuttlebutt about dropping prices yet?
Yep.
Yeah, because I heard that Ford dropped their prices by 30% first of the week. No.
We had a debacle last week.
Yeah, Mom's car.
We didn't. It happened later in the week that Mom's car took a dump.
Mom's ABS is out.
Mom's ABS hydraulic control unit and ABS module went out. So.
One of the two. Ain't running no codes, but you start it up and it's barely got any pedal at all. So there's a valve open in ABS. And we tried what they say to do online. We went 30 miles per hour backwards, slammed the brakes, 30 miles per hour forward, slammed the brakes, did it about 8 times?
Yeah.
And still ain't hitting. So and he would have to periodically go in with his scanner and reset her ABS because it was acting kind of wonky. And so it finally just gave out. So, but it's one of the more expensive parts on the car. And with Christmas and the grandbabies, she's driving my truck right now when she needs it. So yeah, good thing she's working at home.
No shit.
Yeah, no. Hey, this is G-rated around here.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
When a redhead starts cussing, it's bad.
So Boathead's Valerie says Boathead could be on to something. The fact that the failure knowledge is more accessible, but yes, more China metal is a thing.
Yeah. Now I got nothing against business. I got nothing against business. I just this is a particular problem in the industry right now, is the lifter problem and the cam problem. If they could somehow figure out a way to keep that from happening. What?
It's not PG-13.
Who said that?
Boathead.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so Sleepless says, have you ordered lifters from Jags or Speedway Motor Parts? Also, have you ever been to Pomona Car Swap Meet?
No, never been to Pomona.
It's a great place to find food, old parts, and vehicles.
Yeah.
Check it out in the interweb.
See, and that's another thing that's kind of going. We used to have here local, within an hour, we used to have a Tawny Town swap meet. They'd been around for 50 years, and they finally just the old people that were running finally just quit, and Tawny Town is gone. I mean, it was a big swap meet. Now Oklahoma City has a big one, Little Rock has a big one, Dallas has a huge one, but they're 3.5, 5 hours away. Tawny Town was nice. It was like everything. It's just, I watched the show. I shared it on my Facebook tonight. It was Between the Lines, and it was a documentary about the 80s street racing.
Talking about Between the Wheels?
Between the Lines, whatever it was. I mean, I shared it on my Facebook. But I mean, it was like I come across it on YouTube, and I'm like, I related. I mean, and all my, it was an era that's gone, that will never come back. But it's just, things are changing, and as an old guy, I don't like it.
Well,
nothing lasts forever.
Nothing lasts forever. You're right, but there are things that shouldn't have never changed. What's the old phrase? If it ain't broke, don't fucking fix it.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah.
So I mean, it's everybody's gonna have issues. Everything's gonna have a problem. But
I think
what I don't understand is, this is what I don't understand. And maybe I'm crazy thinking this way, but say lifters, the materials in the cams, rod bearings, all that. Call me crazy, but that should have never changed. The materials and everything should have never fucking changed.
Well, business made that happen.
So,
yeah.
But again, fuel economy and trying to make everything more efficient, and lightweight.
Okay, we'll just go first gen small block as opposed to LS. Okay. A first gen small block, once you hit 100,000 miles, that block was done. Those rings were gone, the bearings are gone, they were used up because they were designed a certain way.
Yeah.
Okay. LS motors were designed loose to last 300, 400,000 miles. That's why you can get a junkyard one and put a turbo on it and it'll hold it, because they're designed not to wear out. That's why from day one, when they come off the factory floor, they're using oil, because the rings are loose, the bearings are loose, everything is loose, and it's just eating oil. A quart every 2 months. Brand new, which was back in the 70s and 60s. You didn't do that shit. You made them as tight as you possibly could, because you wanted, when you pulled in after 3,000 miles, you wanted 5 quarts in that pan. You didn't want four or 3. You wanted 5. And that's what everybody expected.
Yeah.
And at 100,000 miles, you did a rebuild. You bought a short block, you put it in, it swapped everything out. That's just the way things work, because people drove less then. Now, you buy a $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 vehicle, you're going to drive that damn thing for 20 years. Where when they were $3,000, you could trade it in every 4 years. Yeah. After 100,000 miles. It's a different world than we live in now. It just, things change. Go ahead.
Okay. Sleepless says, greeting to the Kramer lady. Appreciate for helping these lives go.
Couldn't do it without her, guys.
You're welcome. Michael Scanlon says, hello, Uncle Buck and Buck Jr.
So you made it. Okay, good. So meeting's over?
And Hercules in Wyoming says, stop to say hello. Got to go to work.
Have a good night at work. Be safe. We appreciate you coming by. Oh, if you guys haven't done it yet, smash the like button. And if you don't remember remember we're having the engine giveaway. That's Christmas Day. We're going to have a special Thursday night live for her to draw the name off of it.
Valerie says, good luck getting 20 years on a new vehicle. LOL.
Well, I mean, right now here in Oklahoma, there's a lots of 2005 to 2009 Suburbans, pickups, Ford, Dodge, Chevy. They're all around because, I mean, that's why they're dropping prices 30% because they can't sell them at $80,000 because nobody can freaking afford them.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've got a 20-year-old vehicle that's still hot and running.
Yeah.
Original motor and
300,000 miles. And mine's got 180,000 miles on it. It's 09.
Sleepless says, switch to Buckaroo's Lives.
Buckaroo's Live.
Mm-hmm.
What Uncle Dave called it? Dr. what?
I don't.
Dr. Torque Wrench.
No.
What was it?
I don't remember.
Dave, are you here? What was it you called me?
Anyway, Luke, Garage asks, does Buck Jr. have a YouTube channel?
No.
Buck Jr. does not have a YouTube channel.
You want to know why? Because he hates slowing down. When he gets in the middle of something wrenching, he wants to put his head down and get it done. Making YouTube videos about how to do something slows everything down. Turns an hour job long into 4 hours.
Those are nice lights.
Am I wrong?
No.
Yeah. I mean, like I've seen, at his job, he rips ass. I mean, he really does a good job. He's really good at what he does, but it bugs him. Now, if he's doing something he hadn't ever done before and we could talk about it, that's different. But when it comes to like, just stop. Okay, you gotta stop. You gotta explain what you're doing, and you can get that look on his face, like, I'm doing this, Dad. He hates it.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, it's not that bad. It's not for me.
Yeah.
But I like doing these lives with Dad, and I like coming on here and bringing my side of the knowledge in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see here. Boathead says, I agree, 100,000, and you were rebuild or replacing. I didn't get 20 on my 07, and it was maintained.
Yeah. I do have a question. If, and I know a bunch of you guys are around my age, okay, and pretty good, doing good in life and everything. Now, if I was to somehow make a deal with like a hotel in Vegas, and we were happening to like get like a get together, like in May or sometime, in October or something maybe around SEMA time, November. How many of you guys, if you had enough headway, if you had enough, if I could get a deal, if we get like a deal off on hotel rooms, if we get a deal off on this or deal off on that and get like a big get together, or even just a get together, like, just a get together. How many of you guys would be like able to do that? Because I mean, all of you guys are the ones that show up like for all the lives. And, you guys have been supporting this channel for years now, and I would just like to I would like to meet all y'all in person.
Valerie says, Baller says, could make it from Canada, unfortunately. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, okay. Tell me where you guys are coming from or watching from.
Michael Scantlin says, I'm down for that.
So, but no, that's the whole thing is it's just getting hard to trust the important parts, the internals, the rotating assembly and internals of an engine. It's hard to. You really got to do your homework these days.
Well, even in like now, like if you wanted to get a modern LS, like most of them are set up for DOD.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like nobody wants that because it failed. The last 4 cylinders all fail on the lifter side because they're not always running. They're not pumping oil. Like it's getting to the point that the only reliable vehicles as far as like truck motors that you can get nowadays are diesels.
And they're even having issues.
And the 6.6s, they're having a few issues with the fuel delivery system, which guys, you can put a fast fuel system on it and it'd be fine. But fast fuel system now is running 2,500 minimum.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and it's like, I'm going to
cheap.
buy an $80,000 truck and then dump $2,500 to make fuel work. No, I ain't doing that. You know, it needs to friggin' work. So, I mean,
Can you imagine the kind of hot rods we could build for $80,000? Cool. It'd be in the middle of the showroom at SEMA for 80 grand.
Let's see. Boathead says, good question. I have to rob a bank to drive my K20.
Yeah.
Baller says, British Columbia, you should do a get together. Car people with car people sounds like an awesome time.
You'll just do.
We got Flex is a Florida man. Boathead's Mid-Atlantic. I'm from the Big Island of Hawaii. Sounds like a good time. Never been to SEMA. Heard it's mean.
SEMA is awesome. I mean, SEMA is like the Super Bowl. I mean, we did PRI. We did PRI with Uncle Mike last year, and man, I tell you what, I wish I'd have went this year. I really do. But I mean, I had other commitments, and I really couldn't do it. But it was PRI is cool. PRI is where all the performance and racing guys show up, and all the manufacturers show up, and you can actually talk to people. That's like I said, SEMA is like the Super Bowl. SEMA is the show off place. Yeah, but if you're a car guy, that's one of those got to go to. So you got to experience that once in your life. And so we're doing it in 26, and it's always the first week in November. And so as soon as tax return hits and because like I don't get what a lot of the airlines won't book a year out. They'll only go like 8 months out. You know, hotels too. They don't like to book that far out. I'd buy it right now. I'd lock it in for next year, but you got to wait till like February to be able to book it. But we're going to go. We're going to be there. And but I mean, the channel is starting to really click, and it's getting bigger and it's getting better. There's going to be a lot of opportunities, but all you guys that's been with me from the beginning and have been coming to all these, you know, because we're number 33 or 34 of these lives. That's half a year.
What engine do you trust?
LS2s.
Engine.
LS2s, LS3s, and then 80s and 90s small blocks and big blocks.
Yeah. First gens.
That's a first gen. I'm like a second gen.
We're going to end up doing an LS engine here because he's going to, you know, he wants to redo one for.
Yeah, but okay, so again, pre-DOD, so second gen.
Yeah, 99 to 06. Yeah, out of the junkyard.
It's the 99 to 07 and 07 and a half to 13. Like 13 is like the max I'll go for LSs.
Well, I got lucky because I mean I bought basically the truck that I drive. I basically walked in the dealership and said I want rubber floor mats, hand window cranks, nothing special, no ass warmers, no nothing, and walked out with something like the highway department would drive. And it's been one of the better trucks I've ever had in my life. And I mean, it's done great, but we're going to do like a first gen LS, a replacement for his, but we'll take it apart. We'll get it all machined and we'll make it like brand new instead of having a $300,000 mile motor to replace a 300,000 mile motor. We're going to get a new one. But then, of course, what's going to happen as soon as you replace that motor and get all that new power, because he ain't going to want to leave it stock. Then he's going to rip the transmission out of it. Then he's going to get the transmission built, which I don't know if you're here, but I had a call with a new gentleman. He just moved back from the West Coast. He's born and raised in Arkansas. Transmission guy down in Mena, and he's setting up, and he's trying to set up, and he's going to do it on the side, but he's really a nice guy. And so we might need to show some love in the spring or in the summer once he gets set up in the shop, because he loves doing 350s, 400s, 700 R4s. That's his bread and butter. He loves them. So, and he's got all his tools. He just got to get set up. So, got to find a place, so we might have a transmission guy.
Nice.
In this, yeah. So also just remember, there's be a link in the deal for a B&A Engine Works, Santana and the gang, old school machine shop, centrally located, Van Buren, Arkansas. She'll put on, if you send it to her, if you send it to her on a pallet, she'll do everything, put it back on a pallet, and ship it back to you. I mean, you don't, if you want to make the trip, it's right off of I-40, dead center of the country, just like we are, right off of I-40, dead center of the country. So whether East Coast, West Coast, it's the same distance to get to the center.
I'm also going to put out there too, keep her in her prayers. We still have not found
Gabriel. Yeah, that's the only thing they didn't have on him was a tracker pod. He's chipped and everything. And now the local news has been involved. They've put out stories about it, and we're hoping to have some good luck.
But if you
prayers.
Yeah. And if you don't know the story, someone stole Santana's husband's
service dog.
He's a veteran of the Iraq War, and he's their emotional support dog. So
yeah, then it's really a big deal. Yeah, we're all the prayers for Santana, because our dogs become our families. Once so I mean, prayers for them.
All right. So now I have a question.
Okay,
Mr. Lifter. We're gonna go back to what we originally talked about last week. Ignition system. All right. Everybody's an MSD fan.
It's the only thing you got.
Okay. MSD. Cool. Top of the line. Super ignition system.
Yep.
All right. Now, with that in mind, you have options in this world. You can go carbureted and distributor for your ignition, right? Or you can go EFI and coils.
Okay, now I did catch a thing from SEMA. There's a company that is actually using coil packs on first gen small blocks and big blocks.
Yeah.
Okay. Take the distributor out of it, coil packs on the valve covers or on the side on the firewall, and run the wires to the plugs. Computer controlled, ultimate timing control. I don't have an issue with coil packs. I just know that once you get to a certain point, you have to do something to upgrade the system, because there's going to be so much fuel involved and so much pressure involved. You've got to have something to light it off.
Right.
And once you get to a certain point, you got to go aftermarket. You got to go something really blazing hot.
Right.
And that's all in my day was an MSD system. You didn't actually have to have the MSD distributor, but you had to have the 6A box. You had to have the coil. Because of that, you had to have the plug wires, to get the voltage into the plugs. And then a 6A box is a 6 hits per ignition. So didn't matter how much fuel you dumped at it, it was going to burn it. Right. I don't know if you can do that with a coil pack.
Okay.
I'm sure that MSD has some kind of box that will do that through a coil pack also. Guaranteed that they've thought of that. But I've got nothing against coil packs. It was a dynamite looking setup. because it was on a plate on one side and a plate on the other side. Valve covers were still clean, but they're running plug wires from both sides, electronically controlled. And with the processing, I've got nothing against technology. I just don't want my lifters to fail.
Here we go. Okay, so you have those thoughts. So you can either distributor, like what's your go-to? You go EFI and computer controlled, or
you still have to have an adapter because your oiling system in a first gen small block or big block is dependent on the shaft of the distributor. You still have to have an adapter, but I got nothing against electronic controls. Okay. I really don't. It just go ahead.
Stop. You're interrupting me. Okay. So
go figure.
Systems, right? So think about this. There's a question that I've always had that nobody ever thinks about is what type of plugs do you run? AC Delco 45s. You're doing either copper core, iridium, platinums, whatever. But what if you're putting an MSD system in, right, in your hot rod? What type of plugs do you run?
T45s. AC Delco T45s. Plain simple. I never bought the bullshit when it comes to the iridium, to the 3 prongs, to the, remember, I don't know if you guys remember the ones that had the little forks on the ends of the things, all that? No, that was all, it was BS. I go to, if you guys remember the old speed shops, they all had the MSD thing on the counter where they turned it up and you saw the fire going between this. It's not all that iridium and all that crap is just junk. It's just for them the E3s or whatever it is, the new ones that you're talking about. No, I put AC Delcos at 100,000 miles in my truck because they're tried and true. You can put as much power as you want into them. It's still just a spark plug. It's still just a spark between, an end and an arm. That's it. Having the little pointed things and the 3 prongs and all the, no. I'm as simple as they come.
Some guys are Autolite guys. Some guys.
Well, Autolite is Ford. Original Ford. That's Autolite.
No, that's Motorcraft.
Well, Motorcraft Autolite. I bought, it's just advertising. Bosch, this, that. AC Delco original. Now they used to be $1 a piece, and now they're $4 a piece or $5 a piece. But AC Delco's T45s is my go-to. It's going to be my go-to forever. I'm just a stubborn old part.
See, D-Truth says, I agree. I use AC Delco best plugs. IMO.
Yeah.
And Boathead says, I don't think you can get the gaps out of them.
No. Yeah.
It just always like.
Oh, that's a good question. Okay. Like, you've been doing the engine replacement and everything. Does the manufacturers require a certain gapage on their plugs?
Yeah.
So what are they calling for these days?
Let me just tell you, just in case y'all didn't know, because I didn't. IMO means, in my opinion.
In my opinion, yeah. Okay, so what is so he works for Crane, he works for Kia. He's doing engine swaps for Kia.
Yeah. Yep. Secret's out. I can.
He got permission from his boss to say he works for Kia.
Yeah,
okay.
For Crane Kia.
All right, and if you're here, glad to meet you. Appreciate taking care of my kid. Now, what is Kia's recommendation for gap plug? For plug gap.
It depends on the make model, but they're all sitting about 40s. 44s.
So the same as
Yeah, it's
50 years ago.
Yeah, the what I've noticed through going to class and everything, their main thing isn't power. He is not into power. Like they have their the Stinger, which is their version of
Power rod.
performance vehicle, which they're slick and all. I mean, I don't like feeling like I'm dragging my butt on the ground, but to each their own. You know, Camaros still sell. So, but they're not into power. They're into fuel economy.
Yeah.
That's why they're very big into the hybrids and the electrics.
The 3 cylinders with the turbos.
Yeah, the small 4 cylinders with turbos, because they can put smaller displacement in it, but get the power of a normal size 4 cylinder. You know, but so realistically, the normal standard now in the industry is 40.
40. And that ain't no different than 50 years ago.
Yeah.
We were gapping plugs 38 to 40 back in the day.
Yeah.
It ain't changed none. Now, is there a difference between like just a regular fuel injection or turbo? Is it the same gappage?
Yeah. But so here's the difference though, because on a turbo car, you're going to want to change your plugs a lot more.
Why?
Because on a turbo car, like not like an aftermarket turbo, I'm talking about a modern day.
Yeah, from the factory.
From the factory turbo, they recommend you do it every 40,000 miles.
No kidding.
Every 40,000 miles, they recommend you put a new set of plugs in it because of the most new modern cars don't have an EGR valve.
Really?
Recirculation. No, they don't have it. Most modern cars don't have a circulation valve or anything like that. So, but with a turbo, you have to have an EGR valve, and the exhaust is basically it uses the intake and exhaust pressure to spin the turbo up. So it basically will kick that exhaust back into the combustion chamber.
Fouls plugs.
Force feed it, and eventually it'll foul the plugs from the soot.
See, that's why once you went to a certain point back in the day, you went to MSD because all you had to do is buy the box. And it plugged directly into your distributor, and it hit 6 times. I ran the race car 6 seasons and never changed the plugs and never fouled a plug. In the 80s and 90s and 2000s, running MSD, you didn't foul plugs because it burned completely.
Yeah.
When you pulled them out, they looked almost like brand new. They were a little discolored, but unless you were burning oil or whatever, I mean, they were like pristine. You might have had to re-gap them because of the multiple spark. It might mess with the electrode or the arm. You might have to re-gap it every once in a while, but I never had a fouled plug running an MSD system. No matter how big of a carburetor or dual carburetors or tunnel ram or 850 double pumper or whatever, I never fouled a plug.
Okay. Plex, sorry if I'm saying it wrong, says I miss when car companies care about their power engines and parts. Hopefully it comes back.
Well, I mean, that was what the LS was supposed to have done. That's what the LT4s, the new versions of LSs. I mean, they make incredible power. They really do. They are a great. I mean, whenever they redesigned and went to the LS platform, they did some good things. I'm not kicking them in the dirt. They make, I mean, right out of the factory, they make 400 horsepower, and you got to put money in a first gen small block to make 400 horsepower for the same displacement. They flow better. They make power, and they're reliable. You know, I got nothing against them, but the day of wanting to walk into, unless you're you got the bankroll, you're not walking into a dealership to buy a Corvette. You're not walking into a dealership to buy a Camaro. You're walking into a dealership to buy a Kia. You're walking into a dealership to buy, an Edge. You're walking into a dealership to buy a family truckster, with a hatchback, gets good gas mileage, front wheel drive, V6, V4 with a, or a straight 4 with a turbo. The car buying public has changed. You know, it really has. It's just it's a different world now.
It really is, and like seeing the dealership side of the industry, it amazes me because
Because he was around it as a kid.
What amazes me the most is the difference in like almost in like capabilities as far as like what we can get, what we can't get. Like mainly like you guys have been obviously like recalls. Like you get recalls on your car, send it to the dealership, whatever, take it to the dealership.
Yeah.
What blows my mind the most about working at a dealership is the parts department. Blows my mind.
In what way?
So they'll have the most outlandish part that I need. The most out there part. Like this random bolt. The specific random bolt out there that I need.
To do the job.
To do a job. But they won't have a spark plug.
They won't have just the basics.
They won't have the basics. They're like, it's
oil, filter, plugs.
Yeah, like they'll have obviously they'll have those, but it's like a CVX. Nope, gotta order that. It's 2 days out. What? Yeah, gotta order that. It's 2 days out. Brake pads.
Now I will go along with that. I've had lots of friends that worked in the dealership back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like the dealership made it a point to not have that turnover. They needed that. Get it in, get it out, get it paid for, get the next one in.
Yeah.
They needed that. So the parts department back in the day, 30 years ago, would be loaded.
Oh yeah.
Loaded. I mean, that was, you know, you heard stories about back in the 60s and 70s about the drag racers. You know, they pull into a dealership at some town, we'll say Salisaw, and walk out with 2 sets of big block heads because they were on the shelf.
Yeah.
They were bought. And so, that's the part. You know, I found out about 6 months ago that GM used to throw parts away, put them in the dumpster to make space back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Millions of dollars worth of parts that we would kill for today. Trim, heads, you know, just throw them away because they needed a space for the next year's product. I mean, it just makes me sick to think about if I just dumpster dive back in the day, or had a buddy that said, "Oh yeah, we're throwing this stuff away. You want it? Because we're just going to put it in the dumpster and send it to the dump." I mean, they literally did that back in the day. There's guys that's got warehouses full of stuff that they found out what they were doing and they went and dumpster dived or made a deal and they did truckloads full of stuff that they just threw away because the manufacturer, Dodge, Chevy, Ford, they didn't want those parts back. So they just said, we need the space on the shelves, throw them away. And they took the loss on the taxes. I mean, think about that. Think about all the NOS parts that we'd kill for right now because all the aftermarket stuff's come on. That if you just had the foresight to say, hey, if you're throwing it away, I'll take it. You know, I mean, it's mind-boggling. You getting tired, sweetheart?
Yep.
What time is it?
It's after 9.
Okay, it's after 9. You guys got any last questions?
Last minute, oh, by the ways.
What?
Last minute, oh, by the ways.
Oh, by the ways, yeah. Oh, by the way, don't forget Christmas giveaway. 5-piece merch.
Boathead says junkyards did the same when more money crushing cars.
We when we first moved here to Oklahoma in like 79, we lived next to a junkyard. And the old man that owned it actually paid me $10 a week to watch the dirt road that run beside the junkyard because people would pull up, jump the fence, the barbed wire fence to go in and steal parts because it was Mustangs, Chevelles, Camaros, you know, Mopars. It was just lines and lines of them. This is like 79, you know, and they're like less than 10 years old, but they would actually, people would come in and just jump the fence and steal stuff. And I got paid $10 a week
To be an ARC.
to be an ARC. Yeah, it was. I mean, I probably called him on probably 10 people in 2 years when we lived in that house. And, you know, that house is demolished now. But I mean, yeah, and that place is gone, long gone. But I mean, he had, you know, back then, you know, they would just take them out and, you know, all the wiring harness strippers sitting, you know, on a pallet, you know, big blocks, Mopars. I mean, he had a whole, it was called Hog Creek Salvage. Is what it was called. Hog Creek Salvage. Lived right next to it. Yeah. And, that was cool. But I mean, it just makes you think, you know, if you had any kind of foresight, you know, just to like, you know, you'd be a billionaire today. Yeah. Just be a billionaire. You'd be set for life. Because those days are over. They're not coming back. There's not going to be another Chevelle. There's not going to be another, you know, Cuda. There's not going to be another, you know, GT 500 Mustang. There's just not going to be. It's gone. It's sad, but it's gone. So that's why I don't feel bad about finding a basket case 66 Mustang, and we're going to bring it back to life because there's nowhere else to. This is reclaiming a piece of history. All right. If you guys don't have any other questions, we're going to call it a night. You guys have a great night. Good day, because a good day today could be a what?
Better day tomorrow.
That's right. And we'll see you next Tuesday. Like, share, subscribe, smash the like button, support the channel, buy some merch, get ready.
We have 9 days.
9 days before the drawing for the motor.
We have 9 days.
That's right.
Make sure you send screenshots so we can get you drawn in. And Christmas morning.
No, Christmas Eve, we're going to have a 8 o'clock drawing. Christmas Day, the 25th. She's pulling a name out of the bucket of the winner. So you guys get it in. And if you got a couple extra bucks, support the channel. Buy some merch. Do something.
You got a Hyperlink for Summit.
Yeah, the Super Link for Summit. Yeah. If you guys this spring, if you guys are buying parts for your dude, do that.
Help us out.
Help us out. Every little bit helps. Every little bit helps. Y'all be good. Good.
Make sure the dogs aren't dead.